श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्ताम् सदा हृदि। रामानुजदया पात्रम् ज्ञानवैराग्यभूषणम् श्रीमद्वेङ्कटनाथार्यम् वन्दे वेदान्तदेशिकम्। ஷீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஊரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ரக்ஷண சமர்த்தருமாயிருக்கும் அவர்கள் பக்கல் சரணாகதிக்கு பலசித்தியில் சம்சயம் இல்லை என்று திருவுள்ளம். Now, the protectors, if they do their duty perfectly, namely saving the surrenderer, then there is no doubt about the fruits of performing this duty of what we call Sharanagata Rakshanam or Abhaya Pradana. So, Abhaya Pradanam will result in all the advantages listed earlier. And there should be no apprehension about it. There is no fear. There should be no doubt in the minds of people who are the protectors. And that is what, because our faith should be continuous also. Apart from the surrenderer having faith in the protector, complete faith in the protector, Rakshishyati iti Mahavishwasaha, that is the fourth step. Then the protector also must believe the advantages of course, without expecting much about it. So the protector must believe the Shastras, that is the stories found in Puranas, Itihasa Samuchaya, Yajnavalkya Smriti, so many Smritis, and also Ramayana, anyway, he must, because it is Rama's statement, so it should be believable. Now we will take the Sanskrit version of the verse. Dino tripyatva aparadhyatu. Let us go down to page 135. Yeah. I think the source is not given. Now, this is a concluding part of Paramadharma Nirnayaha Saptamodhikara. The 7th chapter concludes with the title, namely Paramadharma Nirnayaha, Nirnayaha decision, conclusion of Paramadharma. What is the foremost duty, the highest duty? Paramadharma Nirnayaha. The source must be somewhere other than Ramayana. So, Dino Dripyatu va aparadhyatu param vyavartatam va tataha tratavyaha sharanagataha shakranataha sadbhihi tatha sthapyate Vishwamitra Kapota Vanara Raghu Vyomadhvaga Prayasi Nadi Jangha Brihaspati Pravribihi Nanu Eshaha Ghantapathaha. So it's a big verse. It must be available somewhere in some other book. No, it is not in Ramayana. So the word Dinaha. So Dinaha can connect with the Sharanagataha in the second quarter. There are 4 quarters. So Dinaha Sharanagataha, a weak surrenderer. Dinaha, a weak person. Sharanagataha, surrenderer. Let him, he can afford to wait. Dripyatu. Dripyatu. He is ready to bear the delay of protection from the protector. So he is ready to wait. So driptanai, dripyatu, let him wait. So dinaha sharanagataha, the weak surrenderer, may wait. Va aparadhyatu. So otherwise, even if he has done some blunders, aparadhyatu. The word artaha is not given there in the verse, but it is given in the meaning. So Sharanagataanavan artanai, nondavanai irukkat. The word dripyatu will include artaha also. So we already saw these two words now generally go together because of the categories of the surrender. The categories of the surrender is, are one. So artaha and then driptaha. So artaha is also added as the meaning here. That means we reject, he feels dejected and also rejected. Can also say both words. So he has been rejected by his so-called protectors, and therefore he is dejected. He is sad. And he may even commit great blunders, aparadhyat, param, but vyavartatam va tataha. Even when he has withdrawn his mistakes, that is, he no more commits mistakes. Vyavartatam va. So he has turned away from committing errors. That means he is good. He has turned good. Sharanagataha. So tataha vyavartata meaning he is away from the blunders. He goes out of the scene of blunders. Then so tratavyaha, he must be protected. Tratavyaha meaning protect. Who is that who is to be protected? Sharanagata. Here we are talking about Shakranataha. Shakanataha. Shakanataha. Shakanataha meaning a capable protector. A capable protector. Shakanataha, from the protector. That's the meaning Shakanataha. Sadbihi tatha sthapyate. So Tratavyaha Sharanagataha Shakanataha meaning the capable protector should always save the surrenderer. So who said this? Sadbihi tatha sthapyate. It is established policy of good people. Sadbihi, by the good people, tatha in this way, sthapyate, they make an injunction. They make a rule that a weak surrenderer, whether he is artha or dripta, in the sense whether he is in a hurry to get the protection or whether he can afford to delay in getting protection, even when he commits great blunders or even he has withdrawn his mind attitude to commit blunders, then he must be protected by a capable protector. Sadbihi tatha stapit. So the examples are given as a list. Vishwamitra gave sakat to a person, I think, by sacrificing his own son. This Balakandam of Ramayana gives us the story. So Vishwamitra protected the surrender. Then Kapota, the pigeon, protected the hunter. Vanara, the monkey, protected the hunter. Raghu, the king Raghu, he protected the hunter. Then you have Vyomadhvaga, Prayasi. We don't know this where this story occurs. So Vyoma means sky, Adva means path, the aerial path. Ga is one who goes. Shunashepa, right, good. Thank you for... Shunashepa was saved by Vishwamitra. Vyomadhvaga Prayasi. Prayasi, a lady that is wife of aerial being. Rather, Vyomadhvaga is what we call Gandharva Stri. Vyomadhvaga is Gandharva. Gandharvas are flying on the sky. So, one of them, one of the Apsaras, generally we call Apsaras. Any lady in the heaven is called Apsaras, celestial nymphs, they say. We have got 4 names: Tilottama, Urvashi, Ramba, and Menaka. 4 names are available. But this is Gandharva Stri, a musician's wife. She also protected someone. And Nadi Jangan engira kokku. Nadi Jangaha is a crane. Nadi Janga is the name of a crane. And Brihaspati, as usual, the Deva Guru, the preceptor of gods. So these 3 stories, I think we have not come across. So Prabriti Bihi. So we are talking about the good people in the second quarter, namely Sadbihi, good people, by the good people. Who are those good people? The good people are listed here. Vishwamitra, the pigeon, the monkey, King Raghu, the Gandharva Stri called Vyomadhvaga Prayasi, then the crane called Nadi Jangaha, then Brihaspati, the teacher of gods. Prabritibihi, Nanu Eshaha this, Nanu indeed, Ghantapathaha. They have prescribed a path. Ghanta generally means bell. Pathaha is path. Sanskrit P-A-T-H-A is also English P-A-T-H. In the same, so Ghantapathaha meaning, we used to say Ghoshaha with regard to a procession. So they are in a procession, they go what we call on the right path, and it's a famous path, popular road for us to tread on. All of us must follow these good people on road to Dharma. So Gantapatha, they announce it because bell generally makes a sound, sweet sound also. So here, so Gantapatha is the guiding path. The guiding path is called Ghantapatha. And somebody goes as a pilot and gives us the way and shows us the way. That's called Ghantapatha. With this, the chapter is coming to a conclusion. This is what we call Sangraha, the abridgment of all the characters involved in protection. That is the greatness of Vedanta Deshika's Abhaya Pradana Saram. So let us so we can go to 136. So this is the concluding part. So we'll go to the next session. Sharanya Vrata Vishesha Prakara. Sharanya, protector, Vrata, vow, Vishesha, special, so extraordinary vow, Prakashaha, now exposition or say release or say revealing of extraordinary vow to be adopted by, to be followed by the protector. This is 8th chapter here. So Shruti Smriti Sadacharaha Swasya cha Priyamatmanaha Samyak Sankalpajaha Kamaha Dharma Moolam Idam Smutam. So there are 5 pramanas to be understood by all people. And these 5 authoritative statements have been given by great sages. So Maharishis say, Yajnavalkya Smriti, first chapter, 7th verse. Shrutihi smritihi sadacharaha swasya cha priyam atmana. Samyak sankalpajaha kamaha dharma moolam idam smritam. So what should be the source of righteousness? Dharma moolam. Moolam, the basics of righteousness, idam smritam. This has been remembered. This is to be remembered. This we have to bear in mind. So what are they? What are they? Number 1, Shrutihi. So scriptures must be followed. Read the sentences, understand the scriptures, and follow the principles. Shrutihi. Smritihi. There are 28 Smritihi. Smritis. So the Smriti meaning remembrance. So remembrance is here. Smriti is only an what you call elaborate detail of the scriptural ideas. That's all. So Smritihi. So in the book called Smritihi must be followed. Perhaps all the 28. Then Sadacharaha, follow the good people. Sat Acharaha, adopt the good behavior. Sadacharaha. A person must distinguish between good and bad behavior, and he must follow the good behavior. Sadacharaha. This is the third source, Pramana. So you search for Shruti or Smriti and also find out practically what is followed by elders. Sadacharaha. Then Sasyacha Priyam Atmanaha. So without antagonizing the rules of the scriptures, Smriti and good behavior, you can have your own liking. Atmanaha Priyam Sasya. In performing the righteous act, we can prefer some special action because we love that action. So Priyam Atmanaha Sasya. Then next one is Samyak Sankalpajaha. The decision Sankalpa must be right. So the decision must a right decision must be made. Sankalpaja, Samyak Sankalpajaha. So 4. Then 5, Kama, desire. So the desire is to protect the surrenderer. This is the understanding. So Yajnavalkya Smriti says that a person who wants to protect the people, protect the surrenderer, must adopt these authorities. Namely, Shrutihi number 1, Smritihi number 2, Sadacharaha number 3, Sasyacha Priyamatmanaha number 4, Samyak Sampajaja 5. Lastly, the desire to do. So, and then Panchama Dharma Pramanate Aruli Chigira. So, Anjile Nale Aruli Chidgati. Now, Rama shows to the monkeys that he has followed 4. He has followed 4. So, he has followed Shruti, Smriti, Sadacharaha, Swasyacha Priyamatmanaha. Because he already has made his decision, Samyak Sankalpajaha, but still, in order to satisfy the monkeys, he gives little time. So, Anjile Nale Aradi Chedu Kati. Then, of course, the practical application is extending protection to Vibhishna. Panchama Dharma Pramanate Aradi Chegira. So, this is the 5th one according to Rama's idea, namely Sakradeva Prapannaya. This is the Charama Shloka of Rama Avatara, and we easily know that. And we all know that. And then Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhya. So it is not restricted to a demon like Vibhishana. It is not restricted to a monkey like Sugriva. It is not restricted to great sages in the forest. And it is not restricted to even Vishwamitra, the sage who sought help from Rama. Everybody must be helped. So Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyaha Dadami Etat Vratam Mama. In fact, Rama performed the final rites, RITES of Jatayu, and he satisfied the desire of the old lady Shabari. So everything has been done. So different categories of people, different categories of species. And so Sakardeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Yachate. But the only thing is the surrenderer must say that I belong to you. And in many cases, they don't say that. Illiterate creatures cannot say that. Even Swami Vedanta Deshika in his Paduka Sahasram says, Pranamantiva Nava. Whether they bow down their head to the Paduka, the divine sandals, they are given the benefit of emancipation by the divine sandals. How come that two categories of people opposed to each other can be given beatitude? The idea is to stress upon the greatness of the divine sandals. That's all. Just like the analogy called Ganges River sends to heaven all those who take bath, whether they are good people or sinners. And therefore, it means the greatness of the efficacy of the Ganges water, holy water, to take people to heaven. Meaning that all sins have been washed away in the water of the Ganges. So, for the sinners and good people. There is no distinction. God will not make a distinction. So also Rama will not make a distinction. So Vedam, Smriti, பெரியோர்களுடைய அனுஷ்டானம், தன் பிரியம், தான் தீர்க்கமாய் ஆலோசித்த பிறகு உண்டாகும் இச்சை, இவை ஐந்துமே தர்மத்திற்கு மூலம். The source for the base, the fundamental for the righteousness is scripture, smriti, elders' behavior, one's own desire, decision made after second thoughts, with love for the surrender. So Panchama, ஐந்தாவது. So ஒரு கால் சரணம் என்று என்னை அடைந்து நான் உன்னுடையவன் என்று சொல்லி வேண்டுவானானால் அவனுக்கும் சர்வ பூதங்களுக்கும் சர்வ பிராணிகளிடமிருந்தும் பயமில்லாமல் செய்வேன். இது என் விரதம். So as we already saw that when the surrender is protected, the protector must also see that the surrenderer does not suffer in any way after protection by somebody else also. He must not be harmed by somebody else. He should not be troubled by somebody else. So that should be what we call all kinds of protection. All round protection must be extended by the protector to the surrenderer. That's more important. So now almost the Charma Shloka is perhaps in the last few slokas of 18th canto. So it becomes 33. So we also saw, I think, 34 and 35 also. So let us go to the next page. So Sakrit. Now Sakrit means once. So Matra Upayatile. So in all other means, in all other methods, Avritti Shastrarthamanal Pole Kanum. Whereas for any other action except Prapatti or Sharanagati, many times repetition is necessary. The Shastras say, the scriptures say that you must meditate on God many times. Bhakti Yoga demands that we must always meditate 24/7. So Avriti, repetition. Shastrarthamanar pole. Repetition is the forte of Shastras. But Karnam, Prapattil, but in this case, in Anavarti Shastrarthama irkumbadi. No repetition or non-repetition is the character of the Sharanagati, total surrender. So, Sakriti Eva, the Sharma Shloka contains these two words, Sakriti Eva. So, Eva Karatale, Nairapeksham Sannabadi. So, that means the second time falling at the feet of the Lord for total surrender is not necessary. Nairapeksham is, it is unexpected that surrenderer should fall down twice. So, Sakriti Eva, only once. Only once. That's what we call Sakradeva. Then Prapannaya, Tava Asmiti Yachate, Engire, Irandalumah. Now, what is the meaning of these two expressions? So, Prapannaya, to the surrenderer, Tava Asmiti Yachate, his words. Why do multiple pronouns? Now, in order that you have concentration of mind. No, in order to avoid distraction of the mind. So after doing Sharanagati, we forget it generally. We tend to forget everything. We never think, because it is said that only once Sharanagati can be done, then we don't remember. We don't remember it. We go about doing all other activities of world affairs. And therefore, now these two expressions, Prapannaya and Tavasmiti Yachate, that is to the surrenderer, and when he says, when he begs that I belong to you, there are two steps completed. So Prapannaya meaning, since Raghavaya Sharanangataha, Raghavam Sharanangataha, so when he said, I surrender to Rama, so he has chosen the protector. Goptrutva Varanam has been done. So once a surrenderer falls at the feet, we must know whose feet he is falling down at. And therefore, Goptrutva Varanam is choice of the protector, so that he has already done. Because he has surrendered. Another thing, Tavasmiti Yachate, because Charma Shloka demands that he must say, I belong to you, and beg. And therefore, Atma Nikshepamum Sannabadi. So he said these words, and then he begged, and he has pleaded, he is weak, he is afraid, and therefore, that means he has submitted his soul. When he says, Tava Asmiti Yachate, that means the surrenderer has submitted his soul. The previous word, Prapannaya, means he has fallen at the feet. He has chosen the protector. But the second step only, Tavasmiti Yachate, tells us that he has submitted his soul. Atma Nikshepam. He has deposited his soul to the Lord. Then again, look at the difference between Prapannaya and Yachate. Prapannaya gives you a mental setup by which we are ready to surrender. So in the mind, we are ready to surrender. Manasamai. Prapannaya endru Manasamai. In the heart, you decide to surrender. And Yachate is orally, you reveal your desire. You beg. When you beg, we say Vachikam. It is oral. It is wordy. So words are said. Tava Asmiti cha. So Dvayatil pole. So the word Dvayatil, Shiman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadye Shimate Narayana Namaha. So these two words, Prapannaya and Tavasmi Chayachate, these two expressions show us that Upaya and Phala. Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadye, the first sentence in Dvayam is Upaya. Who is the Upayam? Namely Lord Himself. What is the Upayam? What is the result? What is the fruit? The Srimate Narayanaya Namah. In the same way, Prapannaya is equal to Sriman Narayana Charano Sharanam Prapadye, and Tavasmi Iti Chayachate is equal to Srimate Narayanaya Namah. So, என்று கோபலி வர்த்த நியாயத்தாலே பிரயோஜனாந்தர பரனை சொல்லி தவாஸ்மீதி ஜெயாச்சதே என்று அனன்ய பிரயோஜனை சொல்லுகிறதாகவும் ஆகும். Go Balivartha Nyayam. Go cow, Balivartha bull. So when I think please show the notes also. மாடுகளை எல்லாம் கட்டு, காளை மாட்டையும் கட்டு என்று சொன்னால், மாடுகள் என்பதால் காளை மாடும் என்று சொல்லப்பட்டாலும், தனித்து காளை என்று சொல்வதால், முதலில் மாடு என்பது காளையை தவிர மற்ற மாடுகளே சொல்லப்பட்டன என்பது. Go Balivardha Nyaya is the owner of the cows and bulls. So what does he say? He says to the cow herd that please tie up the cows and bulls. Why should he say both two words, cows and bulls? Because in Sanskrit, go means cow as well as bull. There are two meanings for gauhu. So go shabda has got two meanings. Therefore, he need not say, the owner need not say two words, cows and bulls. And therefore, but he says that, and there in the same way, in this Prapannaya meaning, the surrenderer is ready and the protector is ready. Both are necessary. Both are necessary. Without protector, the surrenderer has no opportunity to fall at the feet. So also this protector, if there is no surrenderer, then why should you call somebody protector? Alvar says this very clearly. Ni indri naan illai. Isn't protector always ready? That's why I mean quoting Alvar. Naan indri ni illai, ni indri naan illai. If there is no world created at the time of what you call the great deluge, Mahapralayam, and so the non-existence of the world, who is there to fall at the feet of the Lord? Protector, why should the protector be ready? There is no necessity for the protector to be ready. And therefore, only when there is someone to be protected, there is an advantage, there is a usage of the protector. Protector is a waste if there is no person to be protected. There is no weak person, there is no fearful person, and so on. And therefore, Alvar's statement is little rather proud statement. Naan indri nee illai. There is no necessity for the God to exist if there are no devotees. Again, the same way, so Arjuna asked this question pertinently in the first chapter. After killing all the people, he is asking Krishna, Arjuna is asking Krishna, after killing all people, how can I have a kingdom? 7 Akshohinis, 7 army divisions of Arjuna, 11 army divisions of Duryodhana, all are wiped out at the end of the Mahabharata war. Thousands and lakhs of people. We have got specific number for Akshohini. And all good people are left out, women are left out, children are left out, older people are left out. So, with these three or four categories of people, there will be a kingdom. Arjuna is pertinent in asking this question. If there are no people in the kingdom, where is the kingdom? How can I be the king? Answer is given later by Lord Krishna there. So in the same way here, Prapannaya is according to Gobali Vardhanyaya. So Prapannaya needs a protector, Sharanyaha. Prapannaha needs a Sharanyaha. Sharanya needs a Prapanna. Otherwise, we cannot call God protector because there is no one to protect. There's a small incident example in Mahabharatam. Bhishma, Bhishma, Bhima. Bhima is the name of a king, not Pandava, not one of the Pandavas. Bhima is a king, and Bhima's daughter is Damayanti. So Damayanti wants to choose a man as her husband. So the groom choosing ceremony is arranged. Swayamvaram. Swayamvaram we say. So Bhima arranges a Swayamvaram, and Damayanti wants to choose one of the kings. So all kings arrive at the venue, and in the story of Mahabharata, Yama is asking a question to Vyasa. What happened? Why do you ask what happened? Meaning that there are no people committing sins, and therefore I can get them to hell. I can take them back to hell. That's what Yama says. Why he is asking the reason? Because all the kings of the earth are attending the Swayamvara of Damayanti, and therefore there is no one committing errors in the absence of the kings. So in the absence of the king, the subjects, the citizens of the kingdom do not commit mistakes, even in the absence of the kings. That was the earlier rule. So now the king must always maintain the what you call discipline, order. So he must always keep the order, public in order. So Prapannaya presupposes the availability of two people, namely one protector, the other surrenderer. And Tavasmiti Jayachate becomes the, please show me the last sentence of this page in the text. So Ananya Prayojanani Solluகிறதாக. Now the first word Prapannaya shows Prayojanantara Bharani. Now, while coming to surrender to the protector, the surrenderer has got lot of thinking. So, what will be the advantage of surrendering to Rama in the case of Vibhishana? Vibhishana, though as a perfect surrenderer, but he did not expect anything in return from Rama. He did not want kingdom from Rama, Sri Lanka kingdom from Rama's assurance. And he wanted to desert his brother, not desert his brother, desert a wicked man, that's all. He wanted to desert a wicked man, that's all. He wanted to be in the good books of the Shastras. And therefore, that's all. He did not expect any advantages. But generally, a surrenderer will expect all kinds of advantages of surrender. So that is what we call Prayojanantara Bharan. A person who is expecting some other prayojanam, some other advantage, usage of surrender. So that's what we call Prapannaya. Initially, the surrenderer will have a lot of thinking over the fruits of action. fruits of the action, namely surrender. And Ananya Prayojanani, this is the second one, Tavasmi Titi Yachate. Then he will say the surrenderer is very specific. He is completely decided that he doesn't want anything else except Lord. Rama is the aim for him. Rama is the goal for him. Rama's feet are the goals for him. Ananya Prayojanani Solluகிறதா. So a surrenderer must be a qualified person. Initially, of course, expecting something in return, and finally, without any expectation. So, Ananya Prayojanani Solluகிறதாகும். So this is, of course, a beautiful, detailed explanation for the two statements, Tavasmi Tite Yachate and Prapannaya. The qualification of a surrender. Actually, the Sharanya, this is the chapter here, Sharanya, Sharanya Vrata, Sharanya Vrata Prakashaha, the Vishesha Prakasha. Sharanya Vrata Vishesha Prakasha is the name of the chapter. So, of course, the protector need not look at the qualifications, basic qualifications of the surrenderer. That is also there. So, we have already said, listed how a surrenderer can be. A surrenderer could have committed great blunders, could not, he may not be weak, he may not feel himself weak, he may not be fearful, but once he falls at the feet and then says, Tavasmi Tadiyajate, then the vow, extraordinary vow of the protector is to save him. That's the idea that we get out of these paragraphs. So we go to 138. Sharanancha prapannanam tavasmi iti cha yachatam prasadam pitru hantrinam api kurvanti sadhava. I think it is Vishnu Dharma or some, I think Vita must be understood by the abbreviation. Vipu is Vishnu Puranam, Vita is Vishnu Dharma. 106th chapter, 53rd verse. Sharanam என்று வந்தடைந்தவர்களுக்கும் நான் உன்னை சேர்ந்தவன் என்று பிரார்த்திக்கிறவர்களுக்கும் அவர்கள் பித்ருகதி செய்தவர்களாக இருந்தாலும் சாதுக்கள் கிருபை செய்கிறார்கள். So this is what I was just saying, that the protector need not worry about the qualifications of the surrenderer. So that's it. So Sharanam என்று வந்து அடைந்தவர்களுக்கும் Sharanancha Prapannanam. So those who have surrendered, the word Prapannaya, then Tavasmi Tite Yachata. Those who say orally the words, I belong to you, and beg. Then Sadhavaha, good people. Sadhavaha meaning here all of them are Sharanyaha, protectors. So Sadhavaha, good people, Kurvanti Prasadam. Kurvanti Prasadam means bless them. How do they bless them? Extend protection. So Prasadam Kurvanti. But even if the surrenderers or those who have said orally that I belong to you and begged, even if they have committed the great blunder of killing the parents or elders. Let us take first elders or parents. Pitru Hantrinamapi. Pitru may be generally understood as ancestors, and Pitru is father. You can also say grandparents, or any elders. Any elder can be called Pitru. Father-like people. So Pitru Hantrinam Api, even when they have committed the murder of elderly people, rather parents, grandparents, and so on, Sadhavaha Prasadam Kurvanti. Now, this doesn't mean that anybody can escape their crimes by surrendering unto God's feet. This is only what we call Sharanya Vrata Vishesha Prakasha. His protector's quality is given, not surrender as whims and fancies. The surrenderer cannot behave differently and then seek protection. So, Tahundabadi Arthatai. So, let us take the text, page 138. என்கிற ஸ்லோகத்திலும் இப்படியே யதோச்சித விவக்ஷையை கண்டுகொள்வது. So the essence of the meaning according to the context, yathochitam means as per the propriety. Vivakshai kandukolladhu is how a Sharanya should act. Vaktum ichha vivaksha, a desire to say. So what is said here as an essence, and that must be understood. Chaturvidha bhajante mam, Bhagavad Gita. Artaha, Jignasuhu, Artharthi, and Jnani. So, Chaturvidha bhajante mam. 4 types of people meditate on me. This is Bhagavad Gita. Yangira upasanam pole. So, how do they do it? All these 4 types of people meditate on me. Then tavadartihi tatha vancha. Ityadi pramanangalale. Prapattiyam sakala phala sadhanamayiru. Now, as long as the surrenderer suffers, and the surrenderer will have a desire to surrender. Tavad artihi. So, artihi is suffering. So, tavad artihi is as long as they suffer. Tatha vancha desire, that is ambition, to surrender. The people will have, if they suffer a lot, they will go for artha prapatti. If their suffering is less, they will wait for the protector. And then, so ityadi pramanangalale, number 4 must be seen for the proof of the pramanam, namely Vishnu Puranam. First chapter, 9th canto, 73rd verse. Tavadartis tatha vancha. So, அதுவரையில் தான் இழந்த செல்வம் வேண்டும் என்கிற ஆசையும் அப்படியே புதிதான ஐஸ்வர்யத்தில் ஆசையும். So, we have some desires of this world, and therefore this suffering refers to absence of money. That's all it says. I mean, according to the meaning, it says, as it is Professor A. Srinivasa Raghavacharya of Pudukkottai, his explanation, because he is a very great scholar, we have to believe him. So, as long as a person is rich, he will not surrender. As long as he is poor, then he will surrender. And as far as he is poor, he will surrender. He will have desire to surrender. So, ityadi pramanangalale prapattiyum sakala phala sadhanamayiru. The surrender will give all fruits. Prapattiyum, the surrender to, will give all fruits. Sakala phala sadhanamayiru. Prapatti will be the upayam, instrument to get all fruits. Abhayam என்று சங்கோச்ச அபாவத்தாலே சர்வ பய அபாவத்தையும் சொல்கிறது. Now, when Rama said Abhayam sarvabhutebhyaha, we understand that the protector is confident. So that is what we understand from the title Sharanya Vrata Vishesha Prakasha. When the protector is ready to protect, that means he has no hesitation to protect. By the word Abhayam, Rama assures the monkeys that there is no hesitation, there is no reservation to accept Vibhishana. And also means, as the word denotes, Abhayam, Sarva Bhaya Abhavatim Surva. That means he has no fear from Vibhishana. Sarva Bhaya Abhavati. No fear is there in Rama from accepting Vibhishana. Then Sarva Bhutebhyaha Ingira Vittai. When he says from all beings, from all living beings, Vibhishana should be protected from all living beings, especially the demons belonging to Ravana's side and monkeys here. Even you can include the bear also. So Sarva Bhutebhyaha Ingira Vittai. We will just read the notes here. So Sharanancha Prapannanam Tavasmiti Chayachatam Prasadam Pitrahantranam Apikurvanti Sadhavaha. சரணம் என்று வந்தடைந்தவர்களுக்கும் நான் உன்னை சேர்ந்தவன் என்று பிரார்த்திக்கிறவர்களுக்கும் அவர்கள் பித்ருஹத்தி செய்தவர்களாயிருந்தாலும் சாதுக்கள் கிருபை செய்கிறார்கள். So here you must understand the meaning what we already saw by the word. Tagundabadi arthathai. Samuchita uchita tagundabadi arthathai. We saw the word. Chaturvidha bhajante mam. Gita Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter 16th shloka. நான்கு விதமான அதிகாரிகளும் என்னை உபாசிக்கிறார்கள். All the four are qualified. So நான்கு விதமான அதிகாரிகள். So தாவதார்த்திஸ் ததாவாஞ்சா விஷ்ணு புராணம் 1973. அதுவரையில் தான் இழந்த செல்வம் வேண்டும் என்கிற ஆசையும் அப்படியே புதிதான ஐஸ்வர்யத்தில் ஆசையும். Number 5 is அளவு இல்லாதபடியாலே. Let us look at the text. Again 5. 5 is Sankocha Abhavatal. Sankocha is hesitation. So there is no reservation for Rama. Again, the number. Let us look at number 2 in the page. Yathochita Vivaksha. Yathochita Vivaksha is Tagundabadi Arthatai. While reading the verses, while hearing the words of great people, we must understand clearly what they intend to say. It is very difficult because language must be combined with the emotions. Then only one can understand the intention of the speaker.
So Swami, just before you go, that last sloka, not the one before Chaturvida Bhajanti Mam, that one before Sharanam, Prapanam, whatever it is, that he's saying that the surrenderer doesn't have to have any, the protector doesn't have to be worried about the qualifications of the surrenderer, right? So that somebody to surrender there's no qualifications needed to surrender,
right?
But sometimes we hear the argument that we have anukulyasya sankalpa, partikulyasya varjana, all these things. Are these not qualifications?
Right. That's what we were discussing. What about illiterate people who are not studying Shastras? Creatures, lesser creatures than human beings, what do they understand? Like, say, crow. Of course, Jayanta is the name of the son of Indra. Gajendra, at least because in his previous birth, he was a Gandharva. Jatayu.
But we hear, but did he remember his previous birth?
Yeah, he doesn't remember his previous.
He doesn't remember. Like Bharat Maharaj became a deer in the Bhagavatam. King Bharata, he became a deer. But he remembered. He remembered that he was a king. Yeah, Jada. Yeah, but he remembered. He remembered.
Right.
So remembering is one thing. If you don't remember, then
no, the memory of Jada is because of the Tatkratun in scriptures. So whatever be the thought in the ending time. we will become that. That's why when he reared the deer, he became the deer in the next birth. And in the case of Antima Smriti.
Gajendra also Indradyumna, he was knowing it. Indradyumna, king. He was a king.
Indradyumna.
Gajendra in his earlier birth.
Gajendra in his earlier birth. He was a Gandharva. Ha ha hu hu. These were the two Gandharvas. And these two Gandharvas did not respect the sages in the forest. The sages cursed them to be elephant and crocodile to fight with each other.
Adding to the views of Keshavdas Swamin, the Sharanagadan, once the Bhagavan doesn't qualify any person who is coming to him for surrendering. So the surrenderer, once he realizes whatever may be his qualification, the Bhagavan is accepting him at that stage. But the moment he is accepted or Sharanagati is completed, he should not do that Pratikulyam, Anugulyam and all that, whatever the qualification for Sharanagatan should be followed. So otherwise he go back to the original position. That is what I feel.
Now, no preconditions by the protector. That's what
no preconditions at that time. After being protected, one should not follow certain things which is not to be followed, or one should follow only those which are to be followed. So that's those things.
The problem is only with us people as human beings. You can understand. We are talking about creatures, like as he said, as Gajendra or the crow, or they did not know whether to surrender or not. Even what you call the Sharanagati concept is not known to them at all. They don't know the spelling of Sharanagati. Then how can they follow even in the post, as you said, post Sharanagati protection? How can they follow? But it is said that once you reach the Lord, then we will have no mind to commit errors. Number one, as Keshavdas Swami gave the step also, Pratikulya Varjanam. So Pratikulya Varjanam, that means the Pratikulya Varjanam will be naturally the quality of the protected, and the Anukulya Sankalpaha, all these qualifications will join him. He will possess these qualities.
It will become
naturally expected from the Lord's blessing.
Now, Swami, one more thing actually. That man who comes here, maybe a bird or a human, when he is surrendered, he is at the total Akinchana stage. So once he is protected and given Saranagati, naturally he will be show his gratitude and follow what Bhagavan. It is quite natural. Suppose somebody helps me, I will be true to him. It is general.
That's right.
So in that way, definitely once with knowledge or without knowledge, only because of his Akinchanya status he surrenders. Nobody to help him, he surrenders. Once he surrenders and he is taken as in the Charanagati group, naturally he will show his gratitude towards Swami, and he never think of other things, so naturally he will come to the group. This is how we just believe on that.
That's why what you said is right. That is, he will no more be ungrateful. As you said, Akinchanyam is the basic qualification. Karpanyam is the basic qualification. Helplessness is the qualification. Marjaranyaya means baby cat does not have to cooperate. Okay. That is Tengalai Sampradaya. But whereas the there is no chance for opportunity for the protected person behaving differently, unqualifying himself to be unfit to be surrendered, unfit to be a surrender. And therefore, what you said is, after Akinchanyam, he has surrendered, and therefore helplessness, he has surrendered. Lord is sure to protect. Then with the audacity, that is that with the assurance that Lord will protect him, he will not commit, he is not going to commit blunders. So, but the problem is again what we ask is, as a creature, will he be given the mind to follow all the steps? So Lord will not give up the protection, right? But follow of steps. So Pratikulya Vajanam, Anukulya Sankalpaha, these two, because Goptrutva Varanam has already been done, protector has been chosen. And Rakshishyati iti Mahavishwasaha may not be also there. That's what. Because he has surrendered. And but the Lord will bless him with the mind of reposing faith on, reposing complete faith on. That is our expectation.
That is what I also feel. Because once he is surrendered, his mind will totally change, which is in line with what is required.
Right. That's what it is. So without following particular steps, God will, Lord Narasimha will bless us with such an attitude, good attitude. That's the expectation. He will change. He will change our mind to good.
And Swami, Akinchanyam.
Akinchanyam? Your audio is not.
Okay. No, Akinchanyam is such that it has got different gradation. Because for Prapannan, I am unable to do the bhakti, I am coming to you for property. This for human being.
Right.
For other birds and other things, there is no helper for me, I am surrendering to you. You take Kakasaran. There's nobody to help, you help me.
Right.
So that it has got a different gradation, the Akinchanyam. In that way, once you surrender, you will naturally say, he is the only protector. He helped me. I will be grateful to him. This is one part. Another thing is, this is, as you said, the cat catches. In that, Bhagavan never feels his Akinchanyam and takes it. It is not, you get neither he surrenders. Even the cat is not surrendered to him. If you take cat as a Bhagavan, he never comes and voluntary help unless you go to him.
That's what Vadagalai Sampradaya is.
No, not. I'm talking not about Sampradayam, Swami.
Right.
Actually, Bhagavan, definitely if he comes and catch people, he will take all the people. Catch, it is no option for him because he cannot choose and pick and choose. This pick and choose is Madhva Sampradayam. With all your deeds, he will only decide who I can pick. Madhva Sampradayam clearly says, with so many humans, the bhakti, the priority, he sees people who is really devoted without any other thinking. So he takes those moksham. This is Madhva Sampradayam.
Right.
Of course, this is what my knowledge is very poor. Just I am telling what I heard.
Right.
Swami, this Vadagala Sampradayam is more logical in the sense. See what happens as a human. Not talking about the animals. As human beings, we normally think we can. We have all the capability or the the ability to protect ourselves or whatever. But we do this until we feel weak and we feel that we are no way we are in no way protect. At some point of time, we feel we cannot protect ourselves. Only the Almighty can protect. So we look up onto that. That is a stage He comes to our rescue. So logically, it stands good. That is what I feel.
Raguramanji,
Nammalwar used to tell that Vaikundam Puguvadu Mannavar Vidiyena சொல்றார். அந்த விதிங்கிறதுக்கு என்ன அர்த்தம்?
லக், அதிர்ஷ்டம்.
இல்ல, விதிங்கிறது பரம்பொருளுடைய இது இல்லையா? இவர் இப்ப சொன்னாரு ராஜகோபாலாச்சார், அதோட இதுல கம்பேர் சரியா இருக்குமா?
ஆமா,
இல்ல ஒரே ஒரு விதிங்கிறது எப்படின்னா, நீங்க என்னைக்கா இருந்தாலும் பெருமாள்கிட்ட போகணுங்கிறது விதி. இதான் பெருமாள் அப்படித்தான், என்னைக்கா இருந்தாலும் யூ ஹேவ் டு ரீச் ஹிம். அதுதான் அவருடைய அல்டிமேட் எய்ம்.
இல்ல அதுல ஆழ்வார் கிளீனா சொல்றாரு, வைகுந்தம் புகுவதுங்கிறது அவன் எடுத்துன்னு போறதா இல்ல நம்மளா போறதா?
அவன் எடுத்து
நம்ம சரணர்
இல்ல அவன் எடுத்துன்னு போறதுங்கிறது அவருடைய வில்லு. அப்ப நீங்க அவர்கிட்ட போகணுங்கிறது அவர், இட் இஸ் ஹிஸ் priority and he makes you, he gives all the chances to you to change yourself. That is the vidhi. He gets vidhi. There are two things. One is he makes the rule. That is vidhi. His rule is he has to take him. At any cost you have to go to him. That is, it is your place is only there. But you have come with your karma vina, then you got your own cycle of births. Finally, that karma vina is the vidhi which makes you not to go to him. You can interpret those both the ways. So Mannavan vidhiye, it is Mannavan vidhi, his rule. He has to take you to there. That is his vidhi. This is my interpretation.
மன்னவர்ங்கிறது இங்க லோகத்துல
பகவான்
இல்ல இன்னும் இல்ல. மன்னவர்னா ரெண்டு சுழினா இல்ல, அது மண்ணுல இந்த பூமியில புகுந்தவர்களுடைய விதி மன்னவர் விதியே.
ஓகே அதான் அப்படி வச்சிருந்தீங்கன்னா அதுவும் இல்ல, அதுவும் கரெக்ட் தானே. என்ன பூமியில பிறந்த எல்லாரையும் அங்க போகணும்னு அவச்ச விதி, பகவானுடைய விதி அது, அவர் ரூல் அது. இட் இஸ் நாட் விதி, நாட் கர்ம வினை. இட் இஸ் ஹிஸ் ரூல். I have to take all the people. That is why I am taking to Avadara. I am taking the form of Alvar. I am taking the form of Acharya. This is what I prepared the rule, that this those who have birth in the world, earth, I have to take him there. It is his Mannavar Vidhi.
Right. Now, to Raguramanji, I am just replying. Mannavar, as you said, all people are, not only human beings, all living beings, you can say, even insentient beings. Dadibhandan asked for moksha to the pots that he wanted from Krishna. Moksha for pots, earthen pots. Right. That means all materials of the creation have to go into the Vaikuntham. Right. Vaikundam Puguvadu, the word Puguvadu was discussed by you. So Puguvadu meaning entering. So who will allow you to enter? Lord. Who enters? You. So the living beings enter into the Vaikuntham. Yeah, the permission is given by him. The actual action is done by us. But again,
Swami, அவர் எதை கேட்கிறாரு, அவர் கேட்கிறாரு, கேட்டுருங்க. அவதான் உங்களுக்கு you can make it clear. இல்ல சாரி இல்ல நீங்க சொல்லுங்க, நீங்க சொல்றதா சொல்லுங்க. சுவாமி இல்ல, நீங்க சொல்லுங்க. அப்பதான் he can get what you want.
சொன்னது ரைட். புகுவது விதி அவருடைய இது. ஆனா இங்க சரண்டர்ங்கிறது நீங்க சொன்ன ததிபாண்டன் இந்த இதுக்கும் குடு அப்படின்னு கேட்டதுனாலதானே கொடுத்தார், அவரா கொடுக்கலையே.
ஆமா.
அவர் இந்த
அவன்
பிராணிக்கும்
இல்ல அது ஆச்சாரிய ஸ்டேட்டஸ். அந்த தரிபாண்டன் ஒரு ஆச்சாரிய ஸ்டேட்டஸ். அவன் அந்த அவன் வந்து ஆச்சாரிய ஸ்டேட்டஸ்ல ஒரு குடுன்னு கேட்கறான். அப்படிதான் நம்மளோட இதுவே வச்சுட்டு இருக்கோம். அதாவது டைரக்டா நம்ம கேட்க முடியாத பெருமாட்ட த்ரூ ஆச்சாரியன். So he is taking the acharya seat. No, he got a very convenient interpretation. Right? No, because he cannot directly, this part cannot directly go. See, he need an acharya. He takes the post and he is the requested him. That's what we are, our property. We never directly ask. So through acharya we will go. So it is same route.
No. In the case of pot is an insentient creature. Therefore, it is not able to ask for protection or ask for moksha. And then, as you said, Dadibanda may be the acharya through which the pot also got freedom. But here, what I mean to say is, Mannavar Vidiye meaning, as Srinivas Rajagopalan Swami said, it's a final goal is getting into heaven, getting into Vaikuntha. Final goal. In order to achieve that final goal, Lord helps us. Lord, without Lord's help, we cannot do that. That's the meaning of Vaikundam Puguvathu Mannavar Vidiye. Vaikundam Puguvathu Mannavar Vidiye. That is one thing. What Rajagopalan has got a lot of angles of looking at this idea. He concentrated on his on the surrenderer's helplessness. So helplessness is the qualification for surrender. But otherwise, the surrenderer will not surrender. So again, our understanding is that the Sampradaya's principle is the God gives us the mind to surrender. The God himself encourages the surrender to feel helpless and surrender.
சங்கல்பிக்கிறார். அவர் சங்கல்பிக்கிறார். பகவானே சங்கல்பிக்கிறார்.
உங்க சரணாகதி பண்றதுக்கு உங்களை தூண்டி விடுறதே பெருமாள் தான். இதுல வந்து நீங்க வந்து இன்னொன்னு கூட சொன்னீங்க ராஜகோபால சுவாமி, அந்த இது சாரி நோட் பண்ணிக்கணும் நீங்க சொன்னது. இருந்தாலும் இந்த ஹெல்ப்லெஸ், அதாவது ஆக்கிஞ்சன்யம் ஹெல்ப்லெஸ்னஸ் அப்படிங்கிறது, அவன் இண்டிவிஜுவல் சோல் டசன்ட் டேக் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் டிசிஷன் டு சரண்டர். It is a blessing of Lord to make him feel helpless and then surrender. The time of surrender is also fixed by him. The acharya who wants to go, who wants to be approached by the surrenderer also is fixed by him. So every action is Lord's action. And because of helplessness, the surrenderer takes his own decision to surrender. No. That's the now the general idea of our sampradaya is, as he blesses, we will get everything. It's
here
not
I
a
have
question
one
of
point to
our own action.
Here I have one point to just mention. You mentioned it is Bhagavan's decision to fix the date for surrender and go to him. But thing is, the grade is not same for all the atmas.
That I remember now. As Rajagopalan Swami also said this, there is gradation in helplessness. There is no gradation in helplessness between the creatures, all living beings and human beings. So we have no gradation. Helplessness is a concept, abstract concept, in which all of us should feel that we are not able to take care of ourselves. That's all. There is no gradation for any insentient creature or human being. That's what I feel. Rajagopalan Swami said it. Of course, it is his view. So there is no level of helplessness.
சுவாமி என்னோட வியூ எப்பயுமே பெரியவாளுடைய இதுல என்ன வியூ இல்ல. அவ சொல்ற பொதுவாவே இப்ப நம்ம சம்பிரதாயக்காரா சொல்றது எல்லாமே நான் கேட்டது காலத்தையும் கேட்டவர் இல்ல. அகிஞ்சன்யன்ங்கிறது நான் பக்தி யோகத்துக்கு லாயக்கு இல்லாதவன். அப்பதான் கிரடேஷன் வருதுங்கிறேன். அதாவது என்ன
just I remember your statement. So in this context or in this statement, your statement only, I say all those who cannot do bhakti yoga only fall into the category of surrender. They nobody, I mean, if people can follow bhakti yoga, they adopt bhakti yoga. Now we are talking of we are talking of prapatti. We are talking of prapatti only for those who cannot do bhakti yoga. There is no distinction there, because among the people who cannot do bhakti yoga, there is no distinction. There are all the people who do not who do not follow bhakti yoga, who cannot follow bhakti yoga, fall into the what we call Sharanagati concept. That's all.
Swami, here my doubt is, Akintanyan is a Prapannan. Bhakti yogi is not an Akintanyan. Bhakti yogi is not an Akintanyan. He tries all his best. I will see how you can leave me. He challenges. So it is not Akintanyan. It is not Akintanyan is only for Prapannan. This is what my understanding. I am not telling anything. So for Bhakti yogi, it is not for Akintanyan. Yes, I can do. His willpower, he wanted to attain and he wanted to finally at any cost, at any time, irrespective of the time wait, I will do it. So there is in this, my doubt is, so Akintanyan is not for yogis, Bhakti yogas.
Oh, I think we differ from your view.
No. Swami, it is my thinking. I am totally wrong, but this is how it is. Bhakti yogi never comes with Akintanyatam. He never comes with Akintanyatam. He is having surrender. He is not going for proper. Where the Bhakti yoga comes, once he is not able to complete it, finally he asks for his Akintanyatam. He realizes and comes forward. He becomes Prapanna and Prabhati. This is how it goes in the cycle.
Right.
Now you tell me.
Our view, that is my own view, is a bhakti yogin also must have helplessness. One of the qualifications of bhakti yoga itself is helplessness. So that should be the view. You say that bhakti yogin need not have Akinchan.
No, that is okay. That you take that you explain. What way he shows his Akinchanitvam. He is challenging. Yes, I can do it. I can reach you. And then he is not challenging Bhagavan. I can do it with my willpower, with all my control of my senses. I can do it. It is his willpower that guides him, not Akinchanitvam. Akinchanitvam is not coming in that. That's how I personally.
But as you expect, he cannot be so haughty. A bhakti yogin cannot be so haughty. He should be humble one.
No. That is what. No. He is not egoistic. I am not. No. He is not egoistic. His willpower, with all his control, he still feels I can do it. I can reach him. I can satisfy him. Whereas okay, there is no end word. Okay, I can.
Okay. One can say, yes, I shall ask Keshadas Swami to continue. The one in the case of Bhakti Yoga, he can be called Dripta Prapanna. That is, he can afford to wait for the surrender. That's all. That's only he understands. All of us are Artha Prapanna.
Adiyan, நான் கேள்விப்பட்டு இதேதான் நீ சொல்றதுதான். It will lead, the Bhakti Yoga will lead the Prapatti. It will lead to the Prapatti only. The Bhakti Yogin. And the prapatti will lead to bhakti yogam also.
It's all mutually complementary.
Right.
Right.
It will
Mutually
lead to bhakti
complementary.
yoga, bhakti will lead to the prapatti yoga.
That's right.
So Swami, there's one view that if you are qualified for karma yoga, if you're qualified for jnana yoga, if you're qualified for bhakti yoga, then you should do those things.
Right.
And don't do property. You should do those yogas because the Lord has taught those in Bhagavad Gita also, but only for the people who are qualified. But but I don't see, there are many qualified Sri Vaishnavas, in history. They are very qualified to perform these other yogas, even bhakti yoga. But instead, they all perform property, right? They all do property. There's no Sri Vaishnava that you meet who says, "Oh, I'm doing bhakti yoga." Nobody is doing that. Everybody is doing property only, right? So
Right.
it means if he's doing property, one of the steps of property is karpanya, is helplessness. So that means he has to feel helpless. Every Sri Vaishnava feels helpless. So it doesn't matter whether people feel. So there's a view that the Vadagalais say either by bhakti yoga or by property, you can do either one. You can only do bhakti yoga if you're qualified. But it's only theoretical because nobody, even the qualified people won't do it. They only do property. Whereas the Tengalai view is you can't do bhakti yoga, you can't do karma yoga, you can't do jnana yoga because to do those things means you don't actually believe in the sheshatra of the soul to the utmost degree, that you are completely dependent and subservient to the Lord. And therefore, because you are completely subservient to the Lord, you are totally helpless. Only if you think you have some ahankar, if there's some ahankar that you can do bhakti yoga, that you can do karma yoga or jnana yoga, then so the Tengalais actually see these other yogas as papa. So that it's actually the same. It's just two different angles of vision.
Right. Now, what I understand from all these words of our members, honorable members, is this. Now, this will be a new view if it is not acceptable by elders. Namely, all these steps, Karpanyam, Pratikulya Varjanam, Anukulya Sankalpaha, these three say, let us say three steps. Are they not available in Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga? It is available. They are available according to my now by arguments, by the words of the elders that we have here. So what I understand is these three steps are already in Karma Yoga. And by Karma Yoga, I can get moksha. There is no doubt about it. Karmanaivahi samsiddhim aschita janakadaya statement is very clear in Bhagavad Gita. King Janaka got moksha by just karma yoga. Jnana yoga itself is complete in itself. And bhakti yoga is also complete in itself. And when these three are not possible for the person to do it, then we go to Prapatti Yoga. As Keshavdas Swami said, those who are capable of doing these three yogas also adopt the Prapatti Yoga. That is different because it is easy, easiest means. So Karma Yoga is an end in itself and it should contain helplessness. And it should say, when I do Karma Yoga, when I follow Karma Yoga, I cannot perform the wrong actions unprescribed by Shastras, nor I can transgress the rules of Shastras. So both, Karma Phala Tyaga is right. Of course, Sarvadharman Parityaja is there. So here, but Karma Yoga includes these three steps. Jnana Yoga includes these three steps. After performing the Jnana Yoga, the person must feel that he is helpless to achieve the complete wisdom. Jnana Yoga. So by Jnana, so Jnanan Moksha is a word. It's a proverb in Shastras. Jnanan Moksha. And therefore, as soon as you get my wisdom, you get moksha. the other way also. As soon as you go moksha, you get wisdom also. But all these three yogas necessarily must possess these three qualities: karpanyam, pratikulya and anukulya sankalpa. Only when you don't do the don'ts in the scriptures, then you get jnana yoga. So also karma is very clear because doing action. So when we do prohibited actions, we cannot get jnana.
Swami, Bhagavad Gita elaborately expresses only the Bhakti Yoga, thinking that people are definitely can do it. It is under the full hope. That is not. It's my what. Kesoda Swami, can you please explain? Because Bhagavad Gita specifically, emphatically express only the Bhakti Yoga, alternatively Prapatti. Because that is how I understood that.
I'm sorry, was that a question? Was there a question there? What was the question?
Exactly. No, Bhagavad Gita mainly explains or elaborately about the Bhakti Yoga only specifically. So in the thinking that everybody can do it with their blessings of God or of their own capacity. So alternatively, Prapatti is given. That is how my understanding of it.
Well, Bhakti Yoga in Bhagavad Gita, the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga, but it's also it's given all throughout Bhagavad Gita. So Karma Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, then Bhakti Yoga. Yeah, I agree. Bhakti Yoga is more prominent in Bhagavad Gita, more prominent than Prapatti. Yeah, there's many, but in 12th chapter, Lord Krishna says, do this. If you can't do this, do that. If you can't do this, do that. If you can't do this, so he gives so many steps you can do. If you cannot do any of those steps, then you have to go to Prapatti. But if you can do those steps, should you do them or should you go for the shortcut, Prapatti? That's my question.
The practical situation is that, as he said, those who are capable of following Bhakti Yoga also do not adopt the Bhakti Yoga. That's a practical experience.
No. It is today's problem. Whereas Bhagavan hopes that everybody can do Bhakti Yoga and reach me. He never says it is hard. It is easiest way. That is how he wanted to emphatically express that. Now the days changed. When the days are changed, we got an alternative. So you go for it, and our life is changed. So he gave an alternative, but he mainly stresses that only. So in the thinking, what he thinks is, it is easy. Don't think that Prapatti is so hard or we cannot do that. It is not on that day. Yes, what he has seen earlier, so it is possible. He make it. Yes, you do it. Later, if suppose people are not doing it, so you have an alternative like that.
Again, பக்தியோகம் கஷ்டங்கிறதுனாலதான் அவர் எடுத்துக்காட்டுல கூட ஞானித்து பரத ரிஷபகன்னு அந்த காலத்திலேயே பரத ரிஷி ஒருத்தரை மட்டும்தான் கோட் பண்ணியிருக்காரு பக்தி யோகத்துக்கு. இல்லன்னா நிறைய பேரை கோட் பண்ணிருக்கலாமே இந்த காலத்திலேயே. அது
பரத ரிஷப calls for Arjuna. Arjuna's another name is பரத ரிஷப.
இல்ல ஞானித்து பரத ரிஷபகன்னு
அது வந்து சம்போதன பிரதம விபக்தி. Bharatarshaba, the best of Bharatas, namely Arjuna. It's an address, it's another name of Arjuna. அது வந்து பரதர்ஷபஹான்னு விதர்க்கத்தோட முடியல.
ஜனகாதயகன்னு ஒரு ஜனகர் மட்டும்தான் சொல்றாரு கர்ம யோகத்துல.
ஆமாமா, ஜனகா is a classic example of கர்ம யோகா.
ஞானிகள்ல ஒருத்தர் பரதர் தான் இருக்காரு, பரத ரிஷபர் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு.
இல்ல the word points out to Arjuna. It is not Bharata. It is not Bharata, either the sage who wrote Natya Shastram or anybody else.
இல்ல அந்த பரதரை சொல்ல, அந்த மானா ஒரு காலத்துல அது பரத ரிஷி இருந்தாரு. மானா பிறந்த திருப்பி
யார் அவர்?
ஜடபரதர்.
இல்ல. No. You have understood wrongly the word. Bharata doesn't mean Jada Bharata or any Bharata. Bharata is one of the, the son of Dushyanta is called Bharata in the moon race, in the rather lunar race.
இந்த இதுக்கு அர்த்தத்துக்கு கேட்டதுக்கு பரத ரிஷபா தான் சொன்னார். ஞானிகள்ல ஒருத்தர் தான் பரத ரிஷபர்னு சொல்லியிருக்கேன்னா கேள்வி. ஆனா
யார் சொன்னா? இல்ல தப்பு.
சுவாமி, இது கீதையினுடைய எத்தனாவது ஸ்லோகம் நான் பாக்குறேன். கீதையினுடைய எத்தனாவது ஸ்லோகம் எது? அல்ல, அவர் கோட் பண்றது.
Another point that Rajagopalan Swami says is has been given answer by Raghunamanji, namely Bhakti Yoga is difficult, but it is not said as difficult. Bhakti Yoga is considered difficult. Now, only one example I will give you, Rajagopalan Swami. Taila Dharavat Chintanam. Taila Dharavat Chintanam is the requirement of Bhakti. Yeah.
Bhakti Yoga.
It is impossible for us now. As you said, times have changed. Therefore, the Bhakti Yoga is difficult. He is declared difficult by all people. No question. But in Bhagavad Gita, it is not said that it is difficult. It is not said as it is difficult.
Kesavdas Swami has displayed Bhakti is here. You just Swami, again you come on line that same wording.
Hello, Bhakti Yoga is not said to be difficult in Bhagavad Gita, but Bhakti Yoga is difficult, understood by everyone, by experience.
No, Swami, that's what I'm saying. It is Kala problem because
Kala problem illa. So even in those days, it was difficult.
இல்ல, முதல் யுகத்துல பாத்தாங்கன்னா எல்லாரும் யாக யஜ்ஞத்திலேயே இருந்த போது அவளால் அவர் அந்த மாதிரி 4 ஒவ்வொரு யுகத்தினுடைய இதை பார்த்துதான் அவர் he made it. Yes, he has not come to the Kali Yuga and gave the speeches. He has given so many yuga conditions. Based on that, he interpreted, yes, you can do bhakti, it is easy. Later, the Kali Yuga also, he felt that may not be possible. So, we have an alternative. Of course, this is what the total is my interpretation, but why I understood what it is. Because Bhakti Yoga, just by Bhagavad Gita, it is very strong to say, yes, you can do it, Bhakti Yoga. That is why he started from Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. He gives the way of different stage how you attain that. He has never, Prabhati, he has just told, yes, Prabhati says, against all these things, the conditions, all he has given those things. And further, it was further elaborated with Acharya. Because the condition of today is like that, yes, at least you have to do that like that.
No, one point that you said is whether it is this yuga or that yuga, it is not different. So Bhakti Yoga in any yuga is difficult. Number one. So of course, the Bhagavad Gita recommends 3 yogas. And those who are capable of following Karma Yoga or Jnana Yoga or Bhakti Yoga are free to do it. But all of us must search for how many people who followed Bhakti Yoga. We must search for people. Either it should be a quite handful, who can be numbered by fingers, or none. If, for example, Bhakta Prahlada, we say, so the problem is we call him Dhruvan is a Bhakta child. And can you point out any elderly people as Bhaktas, Bhakti Yogins? We don't give, we get very rare examples.
Those people, Bhakti means only Purna Viswasam. That is it. It is not Bhakti Yoga or Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga. They totally combined together, gives only the total Viswasam with him. And they are not for Bhakti Yoga, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Because he is Asura family. So what he sees, he will. So, but there is a change in that. He has not followed Karma Yoga, but total surrender to him, total Viswasam. That was the Prahlada stage. That I never.
And then that's why he said, that's why that karma, jnana or bhakti involve all the steps of prapatti.
Of course, it's a very big subject. It's only today it is right, but it can be further by reading. We can get our idea about it.
Right. With all respect to your words,
Sorry for the long day. You have taken long time. I don't know about other disturbances.
So Taniyan.
Very nice discussion. Very nice discussion. I appreciate it very much. All views.
Ramanujadayabhadram jnana vairagya bhushanam Srimadvenkadanathadhyam vande Vedanta Devigam Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunasaline Srimate Venkatesaya Vedanta Gurave Namaha Vadidvibasiro Bhanka Panchanana Paragrama Sriman Venkatanathadya Chiram Vijayatam சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்று சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தரணி வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேர போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
Dhanyamayam. So we understand that you have deeply researched into these Bhagavad Gita yogas and understood Prapatti also.
No, Swami, it is just ordinary thinking only we are in no research. What our mind says, we are telling it. We may be wrong, but still only a clarification needed.
Much thinking of yours has gone into this discussion.
Ramanujadaya patram jnana vairagya bhushanam Srimadvenkatanathāryam vande Vedanta Deshikam Kavitarkika Simhaya Kalyana Gunashaline Srimate Venkateshaya வேதாந்த குரவே நமஹ. சீரொன்று தூப்புல் திருவேங்கடமுடையான் பாரொன்றச் சொன்ன பழமொழியுள் ஓரொன்று தானே அமையாதோ தாரணியில் வாழ்வார்க்கு வானேரப் போமளவும் வாழ்வு.
ஓம் நமோ நாராயணாய. ஓம்